Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
We want to focus on the things that have made us good all year long, an intensity that they can't match. And the other thing is the ultimate disrespect is when somebody takes what's yours. And this is our game, so that makes it personal. Dominate on three. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
I need 60 minutes. 60 minutes of me! You got it. 60 minutes! No business, no mercy! Nothing but stops on the thought bubble! You got me! We're gonna ring the bell! We're gonna ring that championship bell! Ding, motherfucking dog!
Ball is on Mitch Jeter's leg. Good snap, good hold, kick on its way, and the kick is good! Yes! Mitch Jeter, with 7 seconds left, gives the Irish a lead, 27-24. Notre Dame is on the precipice.
Notre Dame has won the Orange Bowl. 3rd and 16, Mahomes rolling out. Looking, firing, intercepted, picked up by Cooper DeJean, gets a block, DeJean is in, touchdown!
The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
Hello, everyone. You are looking live. It is December the 16th, 2025. We're glad to be back with you a week before Christmas week, and we hope you are doing well and prepared for the holiday. Follow along with us all season long at Huddle Up Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitter. You can get us on Instagram at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. You can get us on Twitch at Huddle Up Inc. You can also scan the QR code top right corner of your screen. That will get you to our link tree, and that'll get you to everything Huddle Up related, our merchandise store over on TeePublic as well. You can see some of the offerings up there on the screen and grab those. May not have time for Christmas yet. Maybe if you put a rush delivery on them, but again, can always throw one of those IOUs in there.
I think I got a TeePublic email today, said it can still get there by Christmas, at least for the general tees. I'd imagine it's the same.
Yeah, there you go.
But don't waste any more time.
Yeah, hop on there, hop over there. In fact, if you're on the video side, the QR code now on your screen will take you right there to the store. So you can go ahead, you can grab that stuff. Do it now before you run out of time. But certainly want to get ahead of the holiday rush or the last final rush before the holiday next week. So we'll still be live next week. Don't worry about that, since we are a couple days ahead of the actual Christmas holiday. So we will still bring our voices to you next week and the following. So we will not be impacted by that.
I spilled the bank. Our voices were the gift.
There we go.
Now
What a gift!
What they're getting.
What a gift it is. But Devin checking in with us there in the comments. What's going on, Devin? Yeah, if you're with us live in the comments, feel free to interact throughout the show. We'd certainly love to hear from you as we give our thoughts in the world of sports. And plenty of people reacting to our videos. Of course, follow us on, like I said, TikTok, YouTube. A lot of interaction over the past week. And I got my Notre Dame 1993 National Champion shirt in the mail today. So
Nice.
Since head-to-head matchups matter, we won the national title in 1993. So,
In that song.
Merry Christmas, Notre Dame fans. We added number 12, and you didn't even know it this year. So, but Sean, how are we doing this week?
Yeah, we're doing all right. We survived a bit of a cold front. I think it got down into the upper 40s this week. Very overnight.
I would have taken that. I would have taken that when the wind chill was -2 on Sunday here.
Yeah, You're like, man, there better not be that much snow on the ground. And I'm like, well,
it better not be 40 here.
I better not have to put a jacket on.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. But no, we got through it. The Eagles won the game that I said we absolutely had to win, or I was going to just demand a forfeit for the last three.
Yeah.
So we got through it. Sorry, Kenny Pickett, Super Bowl winning Kenny Pickett. Sorry for that.
It happens. And the Cowboys made J.J. McCarthy look like,
it was a small win-win
really,
for you. I mean,
really
obviously one win was more important than the other win, but, you can support your J.J. McCarthy while your team.
I mean, here's the deal. I've always said this for years, that if my teams aren't going to win a title, or they're not going to win like a Game 7 or a playoff matchup, just take me out of contention early. So
don't build the hope.
As I sat there on Thanksgiving night, basking in what was an enjoyable night, an enjoyable 4 days of the Cowboys having beaten the defending Super Bowl champions on Sunday, the defending AFC champion and Kansas City Chiefs on Thanksgiving Day, I was like, okay, sports world, listen to me. If they're not going to go to the playoffs, if we're not going to actually put a run here, can we just not get my hopes up? 2025 has been rough enough. I don't need to be given false hope with this Cowboys team. And over the past 2 weeks, they have lost. They have lost pretty embarrassingly. And they are basically eliminated. A 1% chance. I think they need to win out. The Eagles would have to lose out for the Cowboys to make it. So I appreciate the sports world and the Dallas Cowboys hearing me once in my life.
Yeah, the wild card's dead.
Yeah,
wild card is dead. You can't catch them.
No. So I appreciate them hearing me. I would like for them to hear me when I'm like, hey, can I actually get a team that wins a title? But I guess beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, Devin comments here. Dolphins didn't win yesterday when it mattered most, and the endless circle continues. Yep. I'm right there with you, Devin. 30 years and counting now for the Dallas Cowboys.
Sorry, Devin. The
embarrassing
Dolphins
failure.
real bad. Like real bad.
Yep.
It was not a good show.
You had it all and you blew it.
Although Waller did all he could in garbage time to scare me. I was up 30 going into the game with just Waller to play. And he just kept creeping. He was at 20. I was like, I swear, if Darren Waller beats me in fantasy, I'll never play again.
Yeah, and we've all had that threat there as well.
It was all there, but
we've all
survived. Still around.
That's all you can do. I'm alive. I started the year in 8 leagues. I am down to 2. So the herd is getting thinned on my side, but still plugging away and hoping to bring at least one championship into my house.
Yeah, I'm alive in 4.
There you
4
go.
of 7
Yeah, there you
still,
go.
So
there you go.
Yep. See how
Better
it
than me.
goes.
All right, let's dive into it here. As we do each and every week, before we dive into the stuff that'll be upcoming, we look back at the week that was and look at the best of the last week in the world of football and sports. So, Sean, what was your best from the last week?
Well, since just the two of us again, I'll do my team drill, individual drill. My team drill, not a team that's really needed a lot of inflating or patting on the butts all year, but I'm going to give my individual best of the week to the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to give it to Sean McVay and Matt Stafford and the crew, who ran into a Lions team that knew the backs were against the wall, showed up. Props to the Lions.
Sure did.
Showed up, backs to the wall, came out firing, took an early lead. Rams never panicked. Now, when you have a lead in the division, you think like, oh, well, it doesn't really matter. But the 49ers are right on their heels. It's still a very important game. And just never panicked. Didn't waver from the game plan. Stuck with the run when they needed to. Let Matt do what he did. And come out ahead. And then pretty much just play a game of foot race to the finish line with the Lions and come out ahead. So the Los Angeles Rams, more on them later, your team effort. A lot of individual efforts in the finalists. Obviously, McCarthy might have been one of them. But feel free to have the homer button ready if you'd like. I'm going to give it not to a homer that I normally would, but to Mr. Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham, of course, came out of retirement, working his way through the season, finally starting to see a full set of rotations in a game and comes away with 2 sacks, not just 1 but 2, and earns himself a game ball. It was a very emotional day for Brandon Graham to come out and finally start to look like the Brandon Graham we remember. And I'll tell you what, you keep him fresh, he's going to be real valuable down the stretch. So Brandon Graham, way to go.
There you go. Yeah, I kind of have 2 here. One, I'll kind of go an individual effort, although in a loss, 68% completions and a touchdown pass for Grandpa Pip. Phillip Rivers back out there on the field, has earned himself another start this upcoming Monday as the Colts still try and make that final push. They are still alive in the AFC playoff hunt. So Phillip Rivers is going to get another one. Pretty cool scene with his team watching, his high school team watching from a Mexican restaurant in his hometown there. And took a couple of hits. Said he enjoyed taking the hits, and he hung in there. And man, for a team that looked really good defensively earlier in the year, to not even be able to make one stop to keep Seattle from kicking that field goal, in that final minute, I thought the Colts had it. But pretty impressive to come literally out of retirement and right. Get on the field for
coaching a high school squad to heaving balls in the NFL.
To going into the house of the Legion of Boom, the former Legion of Boom.
Congrats on getting out of holidays with 12 kids. Way to go, Phil.
There you go. And and for re-upping that 5-year insurance plan. So good for him for pulling that off. And my other one, a team effort in a different way. Of course, Notre Dame opting out of the postseason, but still went bowling this year. They competed in a competitive bowling event with donations and proceeds going to various charities and organizations in the South Bend area. So Notre Dame kind of took a negative situation, turned it into a positive, and gave back to the South Bend community. So really, really cool to see that. Also, right before we went on air tonight, Jeremiah Love officially declared for the NFL draft. So not a big surprise there.
Welcome to the club, Jeremiah.
Kind of envisioned that one coming. Was kind of still hoping he would return for the revenge tour, but he has certainly earned his future in the NFL. So still waiting to hear officially on Jadarian Price, but at worst, if Aeneas Williams is our starting back next year, we could do a heck of a lot worse. So congratulations, Jeremiah Love, on a tremendous year, tremendous season, and best of luck in the NFL, because he will.
Of course, I'm a bit split on it. Just tried to keep my mouth shut because obviously, as a Notre Dame fan, wanted him back. But as somebody who tanked a dynasty season to get the number 1 overall pick,
there you go. You got your wish.
To bring him on board.
You got your wish. He will certainly.
All you need is love.
There you go.
Go get it.
All right. Well, let's Sean. Let's go ahead. We will dive in now, as even though we are not participating as Notre Dame fans in this, we will preview the college football playoff round 1 gets underway beginning this Friday, and let's just take a look. Reminder at the bracket here as we get underway Friday night. It'll be number 9 Alabama, as much as we don't believe
Alabama.
They should be in. They are a 1.5-point road favorite at number 8 Oklahoma. Wait, I think I have that one too on here, right?
We had it.
Oklahoma.
Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN and ABC. Your over-under on this one, Sean, is 40.5.
You know what? Screw Alabama. It's just so freaking annoying. And I get all the SEC broadcasts down here, and they were interviewing. They were interviewing. I don't even know if it was the head coach,
Joe Buck yourself,
or GM, but it's definitely from Alabama, and they're just talking how great it is to be representing the greatest conference in the greatest tournament. And I'm just like, you shut your mouth.
Shut up.
Now, having said that, there's a very dangerous part of Alabama being here in this spot, and that's because they know as well as you and I know that they have no business being there, that the system weaseled them in, and they're playing with house money now. And so I feel like despite all the struggles, there is the risk factor that Alabama may just come to play, and there might be some trickery, and there could be all kinds of things because as far as they were concerned, they were as good as gone, and here they are. Having said that, F Alabama, I'm going to take Oklahoma in this one. Cover and win. I think the defense for Oklahoma is very good. If their offense can get something going at home, I think that they could easily run away with this one by over a touchdown. So give me Oklahoma. Give me the under, though. I feel like they're going to win by a touchdown, but it's still going to stay under 40.5. I think both defenses are very good. I'm going to take the low ball on the points.
Yeah, look, when I say screw Alabama, I didn't think that I could dislike them, their team, their coaches, their fans, their players, everything about them more than I did prior to this evening as I was finishing my show prep. And apparently during the media hit today, Alabama's defensive coordinator Kane Womack said, let's not get it twisted. We've been playing win or go home since Florida State. Well, I'm sorry. I remember 2 losses in the last 4 weeks. So you should be home twice, actually, not playing on the road. So, if you couldn't be more unlikable than you already were, you are now. So roll Tide. High Tide. That said, look, there's rumors that Alabama's quarterback has a bad back. I saw John Mateer get tackled by a tackling dummy yesterday at practice. If you're going to bet on this game, bet the under. Both of these offenses stink. Oklahoma's defense is really good. Alabama's defense can make like one stop a game. So, bet the under if you're going to bet this game at all. But screw Alabama. Give me Oklahoma. I want Alabama to just Oklahoma. I just want Alabama gone. Get them out of here and get them out of my life for until next fall, please. So Oklahoma wins. They cover the 1.5 and take the under in that one. All right, now we turn the page to Saturday noon on ESPN and ABC. It is number 10 Miami. They are 10-2. They travel to number 7 Texas A&M, who is 11-1. A 3.5 point home favorite. Your over/under in this one, Sean, 51.5.
Well, we got to battle 2 teams here. You got a team that feels that they've been underrated all year, but has a ton of talent and just really hasn't gotten the credit for it. And then on the other side, you have Miami. Just not good. Overhyped, overdrawn, everything else. I know Miami's full of talent, and early on in the year, preseason, despite thinking Notre Dame was going to beat them, I had Miami rolling in with an ACC title, rolling into the playoff, and I think I may have even had them winning a game or 2. Then I watched them play, and I just don't see anything exciting about Miami. I don't understand why the push to get them in here. And I think I think both of the games we're calling here early are bonehead decisions by a broken decision, and I want them to look silly. And the other one, I'm not sure. This one I am. I think Texas A&M is going to steamroll the Miami Hurricanes. If you think a hurricane on the East Coast can destroy your campus, wait till you see what Texas A&M does to your football team. Give me Texas A&M by a mile, and give me the over at 51.5. Because Texas A&M wants to prove a point as much for their own benefit as much as it is to the detriment of Miami. So A&M by a mile and a whole ton of points.
Yeah, unfortunately, the last time out, we saw Texas A&M play their worst game of the season, and it came at the worst time for them. And honestly, the sad thing is probably at the worst time for the team that we're fans of, because that loss maybe dinged the resume, but again, we're the only team that had a resume that got stronger in the last 2 weeks, including this past weekend when 17 million people or whatever it was watched the Army-Navy game. or 7 million people, almost 8. But yeah, look, and I wanted to be clear, because some of the comments I've seen on our social media and our video posts, like people are coming back to like the Notre Dame Miami debate. My issue isn't even necessarily with Miami, right? They beat us. Like I don't. My issue isn't them getting in over us. My issue is the things that Notre Dame's been saying all along, that there was no reason Alabama should have moved above us 2 weeks ago. There was no reason Alabama should have stayed up where they were after getting blown off the field in the SEC title game. And if you want to put Miami ahead of Notre Dame because of the head-to-head, do it from the jump. That was our issue. It had nothing to do with being ranked above or below Miami. You want to put Miami above us. I still think we're a better team, but they beat us head-to-head. So I want to make sure that's out of the way, and that's clear. My issue is more Alabama and the system of how we get here, not Miami being ahead of us. That said, Miami stinks. They're not good. They got lucky that they played Notre Dame week 1. That's their best win. Since then, they've only gotten worse. They've lost to 2 unranked teams. A&M, they had their worst showing against a team ranked in the top 20. So I think these two teams are dramatically different. I think A&M is that much better. Oh, and they're playing at home in front of 108,000 Texans. Miami is used to playing in a stadium that the only time they sell it out is when Notre Dame comes to town. So this is going to be an environment they're not used to, and I don't think that they live up to the pressure. I think everything about their season was a social media and PR campaign to get themselves in, and they're not going to know what to do with it. Give me Texas A&M also by a heck of a lot. I think they easily cover that 3.5. I will take a slight under because I don't think Miami scores enough, even with Texas A&M's points, to get over the 51.5. All right, Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time on TNT or HBO Max. It is, and I still can't believe we're saying this, number 11, at least seeding-wise, Tulane at 11-2. They travel to number 6, Ole Miss, who is 11-1. A 17.5 point home favorite. Your over under on this one is 55.5.
Yeah, I mean, good story for Tulane. Great job for you guys. Winning your conference, getting there, showing up. This is obviously going to be where it ends. I don't think there's very many. There's no Boise State trick play that's going to do this. Now, having said that, 17.5 points is a lot of points. And I know Ole Miss is very good, but you're now down a coach. Things are a bit mixed up. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here. Do I think Ole Miss could cover 17.5? Yeah, I mean, definitely. But I think Tulane's going to come to play, and I think there will be just enough trickery to keep it close, at least from that retrospect. So give me Tulane to cover 17.5 points. 55.5 is I can't believe it's 55.5, and they expect them to win by that many. Jeez. No, give me the under on that, I guess. I guess if they're going to keep it close, they're going to have to stop Ole Miss, or Ole Miss is going to have to stop themselves.
Yeah, and again, I don't fault either of these teams that we're about to crap on for the next two predictions, because all they did was what they could do. They won their conference. It's not either of their fault that the ACC is so bad and doesn't know how to set up a tiebreaker properly to allow an ACC champion, probably Miami, to get in. That said, especially, and it seems weird because Tulane's the higher-ranked team, but there's not a chance that this team survives the first half, much less this game. 17.5, I feel like you can comfortably bet Ole Miss to cover. And that's such a sad state for college football. It really is. But Ole Miss wins without even breaking a sweat. Again, I much like the last game, I'm going to bet the under because I just don't even think Tulane's going to be able to put really any effort forward and maybe Ole Miss calls off the Dogs. I don't know. So I wouldn't bet this game or the over-under at all because I don't know what Ole Miss is going to do if they just keep pummeling them. I don't know. But It's going to be ugly. It's going to be sad. Speaking of ugly and sad, Saturday night, 7:30 Eastern Time, TNT and HBO Max. Number 12 seeded James Madison. They are 12-1. They travel to number 5 Oregon, who is 11-1. A 21.5 point home favorite. Your over/under is 49.5.
I mean, if you want proof your system's broken, just look at these two spreads in the first round of your championship. Like, let's expand it to 12, but really only 10. And even then, like, 8, 9, and 10 are made up. So, what a mess. But, yeah, I mean, I know Oregon's probably going to just storm. I mean, I think your tale of not getting out of the first half is even more evident in this game. However, James Madison's score points, and kind of one of the I feel like one of these teams is going to keep it close. So since I've already gone in with Tulane, let's go in on a cover with JMU. And I think this one, the one thing I have with this, 21.5 is a lot of points, and it's not like you have to put on a show anymore. You don't have to sell a committee on anything. You're already there, and I think there's a better chance we start to see some guys rested, kind of late in the game, keep them fresh for the following week. So maybe JMU gets a backdoor cover here, and that low 49.5. I'm gonna go ahead and take the over on that. I think in this one, James Madison has a big play here or there, scores a few. Oregon scores a ton, and then maybe hands JMU the ball back and says, "Here, why don't you cover that 21.5? We got some money on this."
Yeah, looking back at last year, for the first round games, Texas was a 10.5 point favorite over Clemson. SMU was an 8.5 point underdog to Penn State. Notre Dame 8.5 point favorite over Indiana, and a 7 point Ohio State 7 point favorite over Tennessee. So those were within 2 scores. And again, last year,
last season's bracket was so much better.
Last year, well, and you had Boise State got a bye, which again, that also probably should never have happened.
Right.
And I'm not going full Joel Klatt here and saying that like these smaller teams shouldn't have a shot at all. I do think that the playoff system needs to look at potentially putting you have to be 18th or higher to be a conference champion and get in something because I mean James Madison's ranked 24th, Tulane's 21st. It's not a good look. It's not a good system, and maybe my only hope is that these games will be embarrassing enough that the system might change again by the time we get to next year. But Oregon's going to win. Oregon's going to win handily. I'd even say somewhat comfortably cover that 21.5, which again is just such a sad statement. And this one, I think it does go over just because I think Oregon's going to score a ton of points. James Madison may catch a touchdown or a field, touchdown and a field goal, maybe get it to 10. But it's just going to be brutal. It's really going to be
well, it's the kind of thing where if no one had a bye, right? Like if you only had 2 teams with a bye, and you were rewarding a 1 or 2 loss team that was essentially could be number 1, but is sitting at number, you're taking a 5 seed, and you're just handing them the second round theoretically,
right.
You're here, go right ahead, and it just doesn't seem. And you have a 6 seed Ole Miss team that if it was it's that situation. Florida State couldn't play because they didn't have a quarterback. Ole Miss can because they don't have a coach.
Right.
And now they just get this coach gets a warm-up game. I don't.
Right. And they weren't punished at all for losing their head coach and half their staff, but it's definitely a flawed system that maybe in the future.
I think a play-in game might be in order where you have your big. I'd say Big Four, but I don't even know if ACC is a big conference.
At this point, not really.
Power conference, but whatever they shake down, I thought maybe if you have your your Big Three, and then your next 2 conference winners could do a play-in game, the week of the Army-Navy game or something, and then one of them gets hit.
Something.
something to limit this.
Something's got to give. Rough. It's got to give. It really does. It's going to be bad football. Sadly, 3 of the 4 games this weekend are probably going to be bad football. But enjoy it if you're going to be watching, I suppose. I am not going to be partaking in that circus. So, Sean, let's go ahead. Let's move on to the National Football League, and we'll look at the playoff picture as we head into week number 16. And if you think this picture looks a lot like it did last week, it's because it does. The only thing that changed was the Chicago Bears are now your 2 seed. The Packers are now your 7 seed with the Packers losing, the Bears winning. And we'll talk in the power rankings a little bit about maybe specific teams and what we saw. But I guess my question, we'll start on the NFC side as we're looking at this right now. With the way that the Niners are kind of struggling, the Buccaneers struggling a lot. Seattle
Buccaneers are hot garbage.
Seattle didn't look impressive against Grandpa Pip. The picture is kind of getting clearer, and I feel like it's Rams, maybe the NFC North winner, and maybe the Eagles are kind of, maybe, I get they were playing the Raiders, so maybe you need a little bit more proof in the pudding in terms of how their turnaround's going. But it's I feel like the NFC picture is almost like a 1 or 2 or at 3 at most team picture right now.
The one reason I think the Eagles belong in there is because when you get into the playoffs, I get it's a high-scoring league, and a lot of times talent can fix that. These guys, when the game is important, can step up. But what you can't do is learn how to play defense on the fly. And the fact that Fangio's got that machine rolling as well as it is, despite losing a safety and despite the changes that are happening in the front, guys getting hurt, guys changing in, practice guys getting called up, it's been pretty impressive. And Raiders are not – did you see the statistic from that game this weekend that the Eagles' backups on the one drive that they led down the field had more yards on their drive than the Raiders had in the entire game?
Jeez.
Like, that's how shut down that offense was by the Eagles. So
this guy sucks.
Yeah, bad team all around, but
it's still hard to do in the NFL. These are still insane professional athletes, man.
So yeah, I think I would probably lump the Eagles in there, and I don't want to abandon the Seahawks just yet. If a bad game is still beating a team that presumably is in the hunt for a playoff, despite the fact that they're on their way out. You don't got much else in the NFC, I don't think. So I still think the Seahawks are pretty strong there. But, man, those Buccaneers.
Yeah, Seattle's probably – the Seattle's maybe they're their own second tier by themselves, maybe. I'm not sure. But over the last couple of weeks, you've had big wins against Atlanta and Minnesota. You had a tight win against the Titans. So it's like sometimes I'm not sure Seattle knows what they are yet. So I'm not ready to, put them in that top group. But they're kind of right outside. And they can certainly – and it's not that I'm saying they can't catch a couple of wins and make a little run. But
I think Seattle, when they scheme well and they're prepared and they get to kind of dictate the pace of a game, I think they really control a game from start to finish. But when they get kind of caught in a game where they're having to kind of react on the fly and maybe throw the ball more than they want to, I think it gets a little dicey. So if you're Seattle, I think the big thing is you want to be as prepared as possible and make sure that defense is schemed up. And if they are, I think they can beat just about anybody in this field.
Yeah, for sure. And then looking over in the AFC side against Denver, they just keep winning now. Certainly an impressive.
Yeah, everybody's got to be done picking on Denver, right? The lack of belief has to at this point.
You would think, but
I get it's not by a ton of points, but. They're beating literally everyone that's in front of them. So
I think I saw a stat, and I this is why people need to keep buying merchandise and things like that from us, so we can pay a statistician to look these things up. Right. But I think I saw a stat that the Denver in the 12 games that they have won now have trailed by less combined than the two games that they lost by. So like, you know, even at times if they're losing, they're in close games. They find ways to win. That's what winning teams do. Like I remember a time we used to praise like the Patriots teams for kind of gritting out wins like that, and now people are just making fun of Denver, which is just wild. You know, looking at the matchups, the same as they were last week, but like all of a sudden, like for as bad as the AFC has been throughout this season, I feel like this conference is a lot harder to predict all of a sudden, because we saw the Patriots. They were running away with that game against the Bills and then just stopped. The Bills come back.
Superman.
Like they feel like they might be a little bit more alive. The Texans are alive. Jacksonville looks as complete as they maybe ever have. That trade for Jacoby Myers may be one of the best in-season deals we've seen in the NFL in a long time. The Chargers, similar to Denver, just keep finding ways to win. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be by a lot of points. What matters most is what the score is at the end. The only team that kind of feels like one of these things is not like the other is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are just kind of winning because the other teams in division aren't.
Yeah, and I think saying that the Texans are very much alive is a bit of an understatement. You know, at a game behind the Jacksonville Jaguars, that defense is disgusting.
Yeah,
they had a very slow start to the year, rocky start. They played without their starting quarterback for I think 3 games. They won at least 2 of those 3, if not all 3, and have still somehow put up a plus 95 point differential, which is not like top 5 in the league, but it's way better than most teams. And it's because that defense just doesn't let anybody in. But they are starting to rip through some teams, and a little more on them later as well. But yeah, the Steelers are as much a product as of the teams around them. You know, with the Ravens struggling for as long as they did. And I know they weren't playing them. There was no need for urgency from the Steelers.
No.
You didn't have Joe Burrow. You didn't have a healthy Lamar Jackson, and the Ravens were struggling. So you could just kind of pilfer around like Mike Tomlin does. And now they have kind of – and they have 2 tough games in their last 3 to hold off the North. The third of which is a rivalry game in Cleveland, so maybe a little harder than it looks on paper. But I don't know. I mean, it would take a lot for them to finish under 500 like I predicted, but I think it takes a lot less to lose that division, because I don't think the Ravens are going to go away here.
Yeah, games against Detroit, Cleveland, and then Baltimore. The Ravens have games against the Patriots, the Packers, and the Steelers. So not easy for either. Probably a little easier for the Steelers. But I mean, if I had more faith in a team, and I know we always do like to play, you know, who do you trust?
Who do you trust?
I like the Ravens more, because I feel like they are better. Again, I feel like the Steelers are here because the rest of the division isn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Ravens definitely have, like, when you break down both sides of the ball, more talent, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, you have bigger names, you have bigger contracts, you have, you know, there's just more there at all the positions. You know, do they have someone better than Metcalf? Probably not. But when you put everyone else that you know is in the Ravens receiver room and you factor in tight ends, then I would say the passing game's much better there as well.
Yeah. So again, we'll take a peek back here at the playoff picture next week, but that's where we'll put the book on that, because it didn't really change a whole lot from last week to this week. But we move on to week number 16 in the National Football League, as the season is slowly starting to wind down, which is kind of hard to believe. But we will start 2 nights from now, a big matchup in the NFC West, and may very well determine who the number 1 seed in the NFC is as we head towards the actual postseason. We have the 11-3 Rams, a 1.5-point road favorite at the 11-3 Seattle Seahawks. Your over-under is 44.5. This one, of course, Thursday night, 8:15 Eastern time on Prime Video. Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I think I talked up the Seahawks a bit, and I think the Seahawks are in a real good place from a franchise standpoint, right? I feel like from a let's build towards the future, whether or not Darnold's your guy, I think he's serviceable at least for the next few years till you go find someone to fill in behind him, and I think they're in a real good spot. A lot of young talent behind the old talent, and I think they're going to be fine. As for this game, I think they're in a bad spot. And I think it's they kind of struggled, like you said. The Rams did not, again, despite the fact that they had their wheels spinning a little in the first quarter. They looked like the same old Rams, just going out and beating up a NFC rival / challenger. And the game means more for the Rams because the Rams lost an overtime game in LA to the Seahawks earlier this season. So obviously, if you dip this one with 2 games to play, you're worse than in a tie, right? Like you pretty much have a couple of must-win games there. So I expect McVay to come with all the stop. This is a playoff game for the Rams because you may as well. You're costing yourself probably 5 spots in the standings if you drop this one. So yeah, give me McVay to be prepared. Give me Stafford to be prepared. Obviously, a little risk on the Devontae Adams front with some injuries, but I think the Rams, while it'll be close early, I think the Rams pull away late. Give me the over, though. I know this is 2 great defenses, but I feel like the Rams' offense is not afraid of a good defense, and will put up enough points that this thing just pushes over. But Rams all day.
Yeah, similar drops to what Chicago and Green Bay did, just at different points in the standings. You're going to go from the 1 seed to the 5 seed if you lose this game. So it's the reality for both teams. As Mike checking in with us in the comments. What's going on, Mike?
So Mike.
Hope he's having a good night at work.
Yeah, a better performance here in the comments than Joe Burrow did, but we don't have to talk about that.
Give a shout out to Mike starting a new project here on the feed. The 5 burning questions, of course, with a little play on his last name there. But that usually is going to drop later in the week. A little bit of kind of a supplement to what we do here on the weekly show. So he's just going to kind of look at some of the pressing things in the world of sports that stick out to him. Sometimes he'll have a guest, sometimes he won't. But go ahead and make sure you're subscribed on the podcast feed, on the YouTube channel. Everything will drop in all the usual places. So thanks, Mike, for starting that up on the feed, buddy. As for this game, yeah, look, it's been a theme for me throughout the year. When I look at a matchup that I feel like is pretty even, and certainly when you have a 1.5 point road favorite, it's about a field goal or 4 points going that direction. But I feel like these teams are pretty well tight, and we've seen what happened the last time these two got together. So. Even with the injuries, I just feel like the Rams are in a better spot. Again, maybe it was an anomaly. Maybe you don't know how to prepare for a 44-year-old grandfather starting at quarterback on the other side. I don't know what it is, but Seattle didn't look impressive at home against a team that's worse than the Rams. I'm not going to slight the Colts, but they certainly are not as good as the Rams are. So give me the Rams on the road, cover that 1.5, and get the victory. But I do think we're going to see some points here. So I think we're going to get a over. May not be by a lot, but I think we do see 45 or more. Then we move to Saturday. NFL Saturday games begin this week for the rest of the regular season. We have the 9-4-1 Green Bay Packers. They're a 1.5 point road favorite at the division leading 10-4 Chicago Bears. You're over under on this one, 46.5, 8:20 Eastern time Saturday night on Fox.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. The last game did not disappoint. I thought the two teams played very evenly, and I think even despite the loss, I think it was a game that gave the Bears a ton of confidence because I feel like, you had just come off a win against Philadelphia. People said, well, yeah, but they stink this year, even though, by no means would anyone have discredited the Bears if they'd lost to Philadelphia, but they didn't. And then you go into that game and they're like, well, this is a red-hot Packers team, and you kept right with them. So this could be a fun one. Being in Chicago and a chance to maybe not bury the Packers, but get them darn close. I'm gonna take Ben Johnson and the Bears, man. I just feel like, despite the fact they lost a few weeks ago in Green Bay, I like the system he's calling. I think Caleb Williams looks better every week. The touchdown throw to DJ Moore last week that was cross-body to the other side of the field. There's less than 10 guys in the NFL that could make that throw with the kind of accuracy he did.
Yeah.
And he's starting to feel the confidence, and I think having the home crowd with him and the excitement of an important game late in the season at Soldier Field, this is going to be a hot ticket, and I think it's going to be worth it. Give me the Bears, and give me the
Bears
over. No Micah Parsons, of course, probably a big storyline and another reason I like the Bears in this game. And because of that, and just generally the excitement of the game, I'm going to take the over here.
Yeah, chilly but no weather in precipitation on Saturday night in Chicago, so low of around 22. So actually for late December, it's a little warm for the Windy City. Yeah, look, this is going to be a tremendous environment in Chicago, playing a lot better than we've seen them play in a long time. Big injury on the defensive side for Green Bay. Big injury on the offensive side. Not sure what the status of Christian Watson is at this point. It landed very awkwardly on his arm, so the Packers could be losing important pieces on both sides of the ball, and I understand that it was playing a bad Cleveland Browns team, but Chicago did to a bad team what good teams are supposed to do to bad teams, and we haven't seen the Chicago Bears do that to anybody in a very long time. So they're
keep in mind that Cleveland Browns team, their defense is like 4th in the league in scoring allowed.
That's
to
true.
Hang up 30 on them is no
easy task.
No easy feat. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So looking at the two teams, I think the Bears are trending up. The Packers had a couple of good weeks, but are either flatlining or starting to trend down. So give me the Bears at home to cover and to win. And yeah, I think we get the over too. The Packers are going to have to keep up with a high-powered Bears offense, which feels very strange to say, and one that might be able to run and pass on them with the key pieces missing there. So once again, Bears going to pick up that.
Bears.
Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern time on Fox, a game that at this point of the year, with the way the teams are trending, could almost decide the NFC South. The 7-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a 3-point road favorite at 7-7 Carolina, who is donning the throwback field and slightly throwback logo and everything for Sunday's game. Not quite as neat as the creamsicles in Tampa, but we'll have a 90s feel nonetheless. Your over-under is 45.5 Sunday, 1 o'clock on Fox.
Man, probably the sleepiest first-place game I have ever seen. I mean, Jesus, man. The Buccaneers lose to the Saints, come out flat again. Panthers chance to go up by a full game, lose to the same Saints.
That is a disgusting act.
Let's just give the division to the Saints. But anyway, the most boring game for first place until the Steelers play the Ravens in Week 18. But I mean, on the plus side, both teams, have their flaws, so it's possible this is a very competitive game, and both teams know what it's for. I mean, there's no wild card for the loser of this game. So, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the one thing that I know, and that's you have a Bryce Young who's still putting it together. Starting to build some chemistry with his wide receivers, but we've had a few stumbling blocks. But he does love the middle of the field. He has a couple of good tight ends on the team and some running backs that can catch balls. And if you watch the tape on the Buccaneers over the last few weeks, one of the big things they're struggling with is the ability to cover anything between the hash marks. You saw what happened to them with the tight end last week. Kyle Pitts put on a collegiate show against it was unbelievable, and no one could stop him. And I know the Panthers don't have a Kyle Pitts, but give me the Panthers and that struggling Buccaneers defense to push the Panthers ahead on this one. On the cover and win. But I think it's going to be a struggle, and I think it's going to stay under 45.
Yeah, I think if you're going to look at this game at all, I think just tackling that under is probably the safest way to do it. Neither of these teams is very good. The division isn't good. You look at the Buccaneers, we know they've lost to the Falcons and Saints in the last 2 weeks. You go back a little bit further, they've lost 5 of their last 6. Now, granted, 3 of those were against the Patriots, Bills, and Rams, but their only victory in the last month and a half is a 3-point win over the Cardinals, who are one of the worst teams in football. On Carolina's side, kind of a surprising loss to the Saints this past week, but you had a win against the Rams, a close game against the Niners. You beat the Packers, you beat the Falcons in the past 6 weeks. So, and I know the Falcons aren't good, but I guess it feels like the Panthers are just playing a little bit better right now.
That's what I feel.
Tampa's the better team, but it's just not working. And I don't know if we're just at the point where the players sense that it's the end of the line for the coaching staff, or what. I feel like, I don't remember if it was last week or this past week or the previous, where the only person that seemed to care about the team losing on the sideline was Mike Evans. Everything seems to be going in the wrong direction. So,
and I think if you're the Buck, he's the guy you got to hang your hat on this week.
Sure.
Coming back, he put on a show last week as best he could. He's a week healthier. He's got to be the motivator in the locker room, or no one else is going to be. You're right.
Yeah. So just because of the trends, and here's that word EJ likes, is optics. Give me Carolina at home, and really kind of putting a big warning light over a Buccaneers franchise. I will take the under because, again, these teams are just bad. And last one, a game that should be much different than the Bucs and Panthers. Sunday, 4:05 Eastern time on Fox. It is the 10-4 Jaguars. They travel to 12-2. The Denver Broncos, a 3-point home favorite. Your over/under is 45.5.
Yeah, I mean, this one could be exciting, and I think on paper it's one of the most exciting games of the weekend. I do think there's a bit of a laugher risk here. Jacksonville has looked very strong. Trevor Lawrence has looked very strong. But they have done it against a moderately weak schedule here of late, with the Jets, a banged-up Colts team, the Titans, the Cardinals, the Chargers as they were rising, and then before a loss to the Texans, it was the Raiders, and that's what they had coming out of the bye week. So really, the only test they had was one that they lost to the Texans. But they're beating these bad teams impressively, and so obviously belong in a precipice far above them. This is going to be a big test for Trevor Lawrence, and it's going to be a big test for whatever that offense looks like with Jacoby Myers. You're going to have to find some stability with the running game. Probably going to have to use all the heads behind Trevor Lawrence, and you're going to have to block well. I'm gonna stick with the favorite here. I think the Denver Broncos are a way deeper team and a way more experienced team, and have a way more experienced coach in these kind of situations. So give me the Broncos to pull this one out. Though, I mean, from just like a fan perspective of watching a team that's been playing well, getting a chance to prove himself, no problem being wrong with this one. So Trevor Lawrence, go out and get it. But yeah, give me the Broncos to cover this. And at 45.5, because the Broncos,
the Denver Broncos,
because the Broncos have one of the 3 best defenses in the league probably, and the Jaguars are sitting right behind them, not by very far. Bo Nix may struggle a little bit too. I think this one's going to stay low scoring. I think I would bet the under on this one too. And it's rare that I take the under this many times in today's football world.
Yeah, but it's just kind of where we're at with some of these games, some of these teams. Shockingly, weather doesn't seem to be a factor. I pulled it up. I figured, maybe
that's the other thing is weather doesn't in any of these games, and I'm still taking the under.
Yeah,
usually that's what doesn't.
But I thought, Jacksonville going out to a colder climate and everything. It's supposed to be sunny and 60 in Denver on Sunday.
There
So no winter weather to contend with in this one. Both these teams playing really good. Jacksonville is really starting to click. And at some point, and if you're a Denver fan, I know you'd really want and hope to be able to get that number 1 seed. But in the same time, like you got to feel like maybe you're stretching your luck a little thin. So at some point in these final 3, and not once you have everything locked up, you might want to get a loss. And I think that actually happens this week. So give me the Jags to go into Denver and actually pull off the upset in this one. I think they feel more pressure behind them. And I know the Chargers are right there behind the Broncos as well. So a lot of tight races involved in this game. But I like the Jags. I think everything is going in their direction right now. So give me them to win. And I think we get a slight over as well. I think if the points stay lower, I think it might favor Denver just a little bit. But if the offenses start to open up, I actually kind of, and I never thought I'd say this, trust Trevor Lawrence a bit more than the guy on the other side. So give me Jacksonville to pick up a big win on the road in Denver this weekend. But yeah, there's a lot of other games. It's actually kind of hard to select just 4 for this week. There's plenty of big football around this weekend.
There is.
So as much as the college slate, we really are not thrilled about. Plenty of good stuff in the NFL to go around this upcoming weekend. All right, let's go now, Sean, as we keep plugging away through the show here. Let's go to the power rankings as we do each week as well. We're going to look at the top 10, the bottom 5, and who are your bottom 5 this week, Sean?
It's not a huge change, though. The Raiders have officially fallen to the bottom. The Raiders sitting at 32 out of 32. The Giants not far ahead of them at 31. I feel the Titans have been playing better ball, not winning games, but playing better ball, and it looks like a more fun product, and they're out there in competitive games. So they're up to 30th. The Browns barely ahead of them at 29, and the Jets, pretending they're a team, sitting at 28 on my rankings.
Yeah, so for EJ, from 28 through 32, he has Cardinals, Jets, Titans, Giants, and Raiders. For Mike, it is Giants, Jets, Titans, Browns, and Raiders. And for me, literally the same thing I had last week: Giants, Jets, Titans, Raiders, and Browns. Everybody lost. Nobody moves. Cardinals peeking in for EJ, I think, as the Falcons pull off a victory. They found themselves out. And I know he's not here to defend himself, but I thought about the Cardinals as well. Yeah. Until I looked at the schedule they've been losing in with Jacoby Brissett. If you go this week back, it was Texans, Rams, Buccaneers, Jaguars, 49ers, Seahawks, Cowboys. That's what they've played since their bye week. Yeah, it's been a rough stretch. And they beat the Cowboys. Well, that ain't saying a whole lot. But and that was probably no offense, the Cowboys probably of those teams, the rest of them are in the playoffs right now. Yeah. So you've played all playoff teams, and to be honest, they haven't gotten obliterated by all of them. It's been close by a few, but here's the deal. It's not looking great. We'll see what happens. Falcons, Bengals the next 2 weeks. See what happens. Here's the deal. Cardinals are one of the worst teams. I think, we've talked all year about how there's like 6, maybe 7. That's probably expanded about 8 or 9. If you want to make an argument for them, that's fine. Certainly not gonna fault that. Mike, I think the only different team in there this week, the Saints came out with the win. Giants go back in. Pretty straightforward there. All right, Sean, your top 10, please. Let's take a look. My Philadelphia Eagles have peaked back into the top 10 here at number 10 for me. I'd love it if they started rising again heading into playoff time, but we'll hold them there for now behind a Packers team that's on the verge of giving us a free pass to 9. Chargers right ahead of them playing some good ball. The Texans at 7 and rising. Not a lot of room, though, right now, as the Bears are right there at 6, the Jaguars at 5,
The Patriots clinging to life at 4th. Seahawks at 3. And then we have the Broncos. And a new number 1 atop my list, the Los Angeles Rams.
There you go. EJ has Jaguars, Niners, Texans, Eagles, Patriots, Bills, Chargers, Seahawks, Broncos, and Rams at his number 1. Mike from 10 to 1, Jags, Texans, Chargers, Packers, 49ers, Bears, Patriots, Seahawks, Rams, and Broncos stay atop his top 10. And for me, Bills at 10, Chargers, Eagles, Packers, Jaguars, Patriots fall to 5, Seahawks 4, Bears 3, Rams 2, and Broncos are at 1. Again, I know he's not here to defend himself. The thing that stuck out to me over anything on anybody's list is the Chicago Bears not being in EJ's top 10.
Yeah, I was trying to follow mine to see what was different, and obviously he has the Bills in, and I have still chosen not to.
So he had last week. He had the Bills at 6. They get a big win over the Patriots. They moved to 5. So he's consistent there.
He's consistent within his own list. Did he have the Bears last week?
He had the Bears at 9 last week, and
they destroy the Browns,
and he dropped them out. The Niners. So the team that got the Eagles went from 10 to 7. The Chargers dropped out after beating his Chiefs, so he's punishing the Chargers for beating his Chiefs. I appreciate him.
Well, it's no longer a quality win.
Well, that's true, and I appreciate him sticking to that gimmick. He's just being petty. The Texans moved into the top 10. The Jaguars moved into his top 10. I don't mind the Jags moving in.
Recognizing a few teams that he hasn't recognized yet.
Sure.
But you can't do it at the detriment of a team.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The Chargers moved up to 4, so he bolstered the Chargers for beating his Chiefs. He didn't move them out. I apologize.
Well, then it is a quality win.
It is a quality win, of course. Naturally, that's the gimmick he stuck to. One
of 2.
But I'm. So the Texans and Jags in. It was the Bears out. That is surprising.
I'm just baffled the Texans haven't been in. I mean, he loves teams that are around 500 and are like on a surge.
And C.J. Stroud was a top 10 quarterback in the NFL to him last year.
Two ahead of Sam Darnold.
So that was the thing, the big thing that I had to kind of look over his list like multiple times when he gave it to me.
He had another, his Bills at 5 still feels very high.
It does feel very high.
He's not here to defend the Bills,
right.
And I get it. They beat the Patriots, who I had it, but it's just I still don't.
If I think of it, I'm hopping on the Earnestly Speaking podcast tomorrow evening. So if I think of it, I'll address this with him because I'm
I feel like Bills high, Bears low.
Yeah, there's a couple things I'm confused about there. Looking at everything else, I'd like to get.
You've got the Bears at 3.
I do. So last week I had them at 6. I had the Packers at 5. I just thought with the Packers slipping, the Patriots slipping, I saw an opportunity to put a Bears team that really is looking more and more complete, a little bit higher. And it's also because the Seahawks, I didn't feel like they deserved to be rewarded for their win this week. I understand the Colts are still in a playoff.
Yeah, you're really low on this win.
Man, again. Phillip Rivers, who was not an active roster member 7 days ago, 7 days prior.
When you watch the zip on some of his early passes, it shows.
Yeah, right.
I watched his first couple drives, and I was like, man, this guy's got nothing.
I was like, look, I want this to go one of two ways. I either want him to throw for 450 and 4 touchdowns and just dominate Seattle, or I want him to get hit and his bones explode. And I don't want it to be anywhere in between. And the wild part is, as the game progressed, it was closer to the first. Like, yeah, he's not putting out big flashy passes, but as the game went on, I think
he started to adjust to the skill set he was showing.
Yeah, and he's that internal clock of a starting quarterback that knows how to get the ball, out of his hands in quick order. Was that's still there. So I didn't. You're at home against a team starting a 44-year-old grandpa, and you need every bit of 60 minutes to get a win. That's not impressive to me. I'm not going to punish you for it. I'm also not going to reward you for it. So, and if the Bears played the Seahawks this weekend, I'd pick the Bears to win. So that's what bumped the Bears up above them. I'd love to get the Texans in, man, but I feel like that 7-10 grouping feels
the good news
extremely
is,
tight.
And as I look up the list here, like even my own, you have a Rams-Seahawks game. Now, if the Rams lose that game, I don't think they're going to fall far enough. But you have some other good games, teams like the Jaguars, which are in the bottom half of the top 10, that are playing a very big game against the Broncos team. Packers have a chance to just fall completely out of this list. So, I think there's some big games that could cost some of these teams a spot in the 10. Are you with me though? I know the Bills have shown up in your list, not quite on mine, despite the fact that they beat the Patriots, who I currently have at 4.
Yeah,
are you with me that one, the Bills don't belong higher, but also are you with me in that the Patriots, because I've mentioned they were untested to this point, and now your best win is also a loss. Do you think the Patriots are kind of clinging into the top 5 here and possibly on their way down the list?
Yeah, and I mean that's another reason I kind of moved them down to 5, because I'm not buying the Bills as a really, really good team. I think that I think that there's a lot of reactions because they've beaten teams that on paper should have been better than they are. They have 3 wins. They've won their last 3 games, right? But they've beaten the Steelers, who are not good. They've beaten the Bengals, no offense, Mike, not good. And they've beaten the Patriots. I feel like the Patriots win was as much about the Patriots either letting off the gas or maybe starting to buy into their own stuff a bit.
It did feel like they were run heavy for a lot of the second half and then just kind of got caught with their pants down.
Yeah, like it's like they put it in they started coasting and then they hit like an icy patch and they didn't know how to steer into the skid and fix it. So I'm not ready to buy in on the Bills yet. I think they're very, very easily ready to find their way out. I think the Patriots are still a really good team, but hopefully they use this past week
there's
as
an element
a
of them
wake-up
that's still
call.
figuring things out. Like they're still trying to figure out what to do with Stevenson and Henderson, and the answer is Henderson.
Yeah,
like it's not even like get that kid the ball. He's electric, right? And I think as they start to make the push towards the postseason, maybe that's it.
Yeah, I like Mike's comment there. Hey, injured and not good are not the same. That's fair. Bengals very, very much injured. He realized that EJ had the Bills at his number 5. Way too high on that.
Yeah, just a major reach there.
Anything higher than 8. I mean, he had them at 6 last week, so he was already reaching. And maybe
he just misspelled the word Bears.
Maybe that's what it is. And maybe at his age, like now that he's like reached and stretched, he doesn't, the elasticity isn't there to get it back. Like he can't undo it. At his age, Mike also says, how does EJ not have the Browns in his bottom 5? Yeah, the Browns are awful. Maybe it's love for good. Coach Prime and Shador. Maybe that's why he has them there. Because the Browns are terrible. Otherwise, looking at it, I mean, I feel like a lot of our lists are fairly. I think EJ's also way too high on the Chargers. I love my Chargers, but like they're not the 4th best team in football right now. They have the potential. Look, I was talking about it with my wife, this evening. Is Jim Harbaugh.
His list only Seahawks ran. Never mind. I was going to say a very limited NFC selection.
Jim Harbaugh on Dan Patrick today. Always a fun interview with Coach Harbaugh. And I'm like, look, the Chargers are a team that, like, they've had their injuries. They had kind of this struggle period, but like they're looking like they're starting to get right at the right time. They're a team that can absolutely make some noise in this AFC postseason. I do believe that, especially if they can catch that 1 seed. Like, I think that would be a wild twist that nobody sees coming. But I'm not ready to put them in my top 5 here quite yet. Yeah, we were pointing that out, Mike, EJ, with that not having the Bears, and calling EJ his Stephen A. Smith. Well, that is true. They destroyed the Chiefs dynasty and Mahomes' ACL. They have to be top 4. So maybe I should have put them there. Really rewarded them for that. But yeah, the Patrick Mahomes surgery already on the ACL and LCL, which were both torn. So depending who you listen to, some doctors think he'll be more than ready to go at the start of the year. There's some people that think he may not be fully ready to go until 2027 with the extent of the injury. So certainly time will tell as we go into the off season. But quite an off season of change there for the Kansas City Chiefs. Anything else from the rankings, Sean?
No, I'm sitting good.
All right. Well, that means we're going to do what we always do as we get ready to close up the show, and we go to our weekly locks.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Looking ahead at the weekend that is upcoming, what is one thing that will happen this weekend, Sean?
Man, I had 2 different ones I was going to call, like, division sweeps, but I can't because, like, the Eagles and the Commanders play each other, and it happens again with another division. I'm really at a loss. I feel like a lot of the games are just so tight that it's hard to pick something. So I am going to go out on a limb again. I was way off base with my Browns over the Bears. So we're going to try it again. And in the wake of a Patrick Mahomes injury and a starting Gardner Minshew, as much as I love Gardner Minshew, and I hope he proves once again he's one of the best backups in the league, in a matchup in Nashville, Tennessee, to add insult to an already injured season, the Tennessee Titans will beat the Kansas City Chiefs, all but without Patrick Mahomes, and will earn their 3rd win of the season and catch up halfway to the Chiefs win total after this weekend. Come on, Cam Ward, lock it up.
Let's go. Let's lock that up.
Lock it up.
Yeah, a couple of ways that I could have gone with this one. Thinking about the Ravens possibly getting back in that AFC number 1 spot, but you know what? I've picked on him. I picked on the Seahawks because of him. 44-year-old Grandpa Pip gets another start this upcoming weekend, hosting the 49ers. And you know what? Let's get Pip a win. The Colts are going to keep their, albeit slim, playoff hopes alive with a victory over the 49ers, which will probably do some altering on that NFC playoff side. But let's go, Pip. Go out and get him a win, buddy, at home in
Lock it up.
In Indy.
He would only be, I think, the second quarterback at his age to win a game, I believe.
Yeah, him and Tom. Breaking news. I know our Phillies fans, like Sean and my wife, are going to be very disappointed to learn that Jordan Romano signing with the Angels today.
Man,
so
love that guy.
So Jordan Romano not going to be a Philly this upcoming season.
Oh God, he was so good.
He was so good, so clutch. Had really in the biggest moments.
God, there's ice in his veins.
Just Phillies fans, I'm sorry to break the news to you so late in the day. If you're with us live, somehow you'll have to manage to get some sleep tonight. So, all right. On that sad note, Sean, we're gonna wrap it up here. Let them know where they can follow you.
All right. Well, you assume by my stature you could follow me in a in a sleigh in a week and a half, but not me. That's the big guy in red. I just pretty much sit on my couch and watch football. So you can catch me watching the Eagles games or on my Twitter handle at Sean Shine State. I've been posting some funny memes and some updates and some news flashes and various other things. So come check us out at Sean Shine State. Yeah, enjoy the weekend. If you're into college football and the NFL, this is quite a busy weekend for you. Keep up with it. Stay safe out there, and yeah, we'll see you just before Christmas.
All right, you can follow me at Big Jim Sports. Most importantly, make sure you are following along with the show. We're at Huddle Up Podcast across the board. You can, if you're on the video side, scan the QR code, top right corner of your screen. That'll get you to our link tree, get you everywhere Huddle Up related. You can hit the link tree in all of our social medias as well. Everything's also in the episode description on YouTube and on all of your podcast catchers. So make sure you are subscribed and following along with us there. Grab our merchandise over on the TeePublic store. Again, still have time, albeit very short amount of time, to get your orders in before Christmas and receive them. But go ahead, hop over there and do that. Until next week, we hope that you stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the win.